Hello, friends. There are a lot of religious people, and there are some that are more religious than others. In that, religious people will tell you that you are wrong because they have had a traumatic experience, and they feel that it was some supernatural event that saved them. They will tell you just because of their event that happened to them, it overrides reality. Regardless of what happened, there is still a cause and effect, a law. Religion is a structured business. Like any other business, most scholars would agree. In essence, a scholar is really a student in the study of the humanities and has gained mastery in the subject. Humanities help us understand and interpret the human experience as individuals and societies. It is a study of history, philosophy, religion, modern and ancient language and literature, fine and performing arts, media and cultural studies, and other fields. This message is going to touch on the image of God and the likeness of God, and to be born again. I'm going to be talking out of the Christian Old Testament book first, Genesis 1, 26 and 27. And then the New Testament book in John 3, 1 and 8. Genesis 1 and 26 says, "And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let him have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. There are a lot of things in the Old Testament and the New Testament that are allegories and parables. God created Adam from the ground in his image, and then Eve from Adam. And then Adam and Eve created Cain, Seth, and Abel. There must have been other people living at the time of Cain, unless Adam's son Cain did marry his sister his niece, uh, grandniece, cousin, first cousin, or cousin's children, etc. That would some way account for the other people during that period. Cain, Abel, and Seth were created in Adam and Eve's image. And to get his attributes, he must have installed his consciousness in order to get the likeness. Once people began to multiply, the seeds that were created in the image of their mothers and fathers. And then God likeness had to have been installed during that process. This is supposed to be a record of the Israelite people. This record was used at the Nicene Council, among other things, and added on a character named Jesus and Paul as the leading characters. In the Old Testament part, it says that man was created from the ground and the woman was created from man's rib. It said that man was created in God's image. Image is defined as a portrait of the real deal. If you see a man's picture of himself, then that would be considered an image of him. Likeness is his attributes. All of the animals have the same organs humans have. They have flesh and blood also. Everything multiplies. Everything is made in someone or something's image. There's a resemblance of the human and animal organs to nuts, seeds, other nuts and seeds. There are shapes similar to the human organs. The walnut has resemblance to the brain. That's just one example. Growing up with a picture of a white person's portrait being the image of the Son of God on the wall in the church, I attended thinking that this was true. And of course, a lot of my fellow Christians at the time probably died thinking the same thing, and finding that the image of the big man has no color. And being in that image and that likeness, this consciousness can appear in any form, regardless of color. This consciousness has what is guiding the planet. This consciousness is guiding the planet. This consciousness is what's guiding the planet. If we search for it, he could manifest himself in the consciousness of an animal or a plant or anything on earth, like he manifested himself in Moses in the burning bush, according to the Christian account of the story. As I was reading excerpts from Condominium of the Emperor Tablets, authored by Billy Carson, and his information comes from the Pew Research Center. It revealed that there are 2.4 billion Christians, 1.8 billion Muslims, 1.15 billion Hinduisms, 521 million Buddhisms, 17 million Mormons, 41 million Judaism. While I was comparing the Old Testament reading to the Christian Bible, of the Christian Bible to the Judean Bible, I found that the excerpts that have been taken from the Judaism laid the foundation for Christianity. The character Jesus was talking to, character Nicodemus in the New Testament, according to the priests and all those that put these books together at the Nicene Council that was summoned by Constantine, and he explained what it meant to be born again. And this is the account of Jesus and Nicodemus' discussion, John 3:1-8. Now there was a Pharisee, a man named Nicodemus, who was a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jesus at night and said, "Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who have come from God, for no one could perform these signs you are doing if God were not with him." Jesus replied, "Verily, verily, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again." "How can someone be born again when they are old?" Nicodemus asked. "Surely they cannot enter a second time into their mother's womb to be born again." Jesus answered, "Verily I say unto you, no one can enter the kingdom of God unless they are born of water and the Spirit. Flesh gives birth to flesh, but the Spirit gives birth to spirit. You should not be surprised at my saying, you must be born again. The wind blows wherever it pleases. You hear its sound, but you cannot tell where it comes from or where it's going. So it is with everyone born of the Spirit. I've been born again." When archaeologists dig up ancient artifacts, some make documentaries. These things are proving that civilization existed long before Adam and Eve. A portal could have existed at one time in ancient civilization to another world. For instance, some of these movies that deal with the supernatural and portals came from some idea that was founded by digging up things that ancient civilization used, plus there were these writings on the wall. If something is done one time by something or someone, then it should be able to be repeated by something or someone, if it didn't just randomly happen. Everything here has been calculated to the last detail by something. We are all connected together in some way. We all need the same minerals and nutrients to survive. Plants, animals, insects, humans, we are all benefiting from each other. Other in some way. Recycling, while we are active on Earth, waste and everything is being reused by either plants, insects, animals, or humans. The documentation of history when Constantine was ruler of Rome shows how we got to where we are today in religion, especially in Christianity. Constantine built a powerful Christian religion that later became a state religion, and it has been and is being used to control the consciousness of people. I think it has served its purpose. I was discussing with an acquaintance one day about my transformation of changing from what I was taught growing up, and he asked me what can be better than what we have now. In my interpreting of that, he was asking me, what do we have better than worshiping a lie? You know, the Christian Bible is a good source to navigate through life because of the potent stuff it has. It has some of everything in it in regards to the universe. But it is used by some to control the spirit, to enslave the consciousness. And it causes a distraction for the people that are asleep. There are some who would prefer to be asleep. Once the truth is manifested and connected to the consciousness is maintained and the people get on one accord, then true worship will be able to begin, and it will be revealed what to really worship. If we need to worship anything other than nature itself or the consciousness that we are connected to, you can't argue with the truth. The answer to what is better will manifest itself to the individual consciousness, just like it happened in the upper room when they were on one accord, according to the Christian account. If two or more agree to a truth, then that truth could be established. I would like to acknowledge and thank my grandmother, my mother, my father, and my grandfather, and theirs also. I would also like to acknowledge and thank all the ancestors of all colors and nationalities, back as far as the beginning of time, who protected and fought against evil and the survival of humankind. You have been and are the saviors of this world. The things that you have endured and the sacrifices you did for survival in your tribe and group community, both nationally, internationally, globally, You made it possible for the human species in all areas of the world to move forward. Each generation has brought about a change and one step closer to and for the betterment of all on the planet. Evil has always surfaced and resurfaced. In it and everywhere it gets an opportunity. Wherever it finds a crack to water down the progress of good. I would like to acknowledge also and thank all the clergies of all colors that have put to rest and have honored and dignified the lives of all those that their consciousness have departed their earthly bodies long ago. And I leave them daily in further time. Blessings to you as you have